Well, initially, I read it very quickly. It was very easy to read and entertaining, and I just couldn't, I couldn't wait to see, how it progressed. So I immediately felt that, that would make a great film in itself. But then, if you think about it, it's, the themes and the situations, the conflicts in it, how layered it is, how complex it is, how relevant it felt to the world that we live in. And also, something different to what I've done before. And yeah, all these things just, got me very excited. And I immediately sent it to Emily as soon as I read it and go like, what do you think of this? And,
And I said, what's this? Yuck. And then he talked me into it for years. There's obviously so many layers to her without spoiling anything that I thought would be a really interesting sort of line to walk throughout. Yeah, it was just a completely different world for me. The CEO, or the way that she's kind of running this company and has all of these like corporate words stuck in her mind, and the way that she interacts with everyone is kind of false and put on in a way, but also needs to seem like she really knows what she's doing and talking about. And I don't know, there was so much about it that I really loved, and the story in general, like Yorgo said, when he sent it to me, I was like, I couldn't put the script down. It was just fascinating the way that it all unfolded, and surprising and relevant and prescient in many ways, and yeah, everything about it.
I think it comes from the script. I truly do. From my experience reading it that first time, and then reading it again when it was all a little more real and we knew that it was going to happen and had a start date, my first impression of him is probably, I would think, similar to the audience. You meet him and you immediately sort of think how to classify, compartmentalize this guy. He seems like a handful of figures that are very much alive nowadays. And yeah, as they said, the longer you're with the story, the more you start to understand of how he got to this place where the movie begins, his history, his past, all the pain and trauma and rage. It was just kind of just my understanding of him. And I think all of that pain and trauma, it's all built into this this mission, this way of looking at the world, and this sort of hero's quest that he is on.
It talks in a very profound level about humanity and human nature, and it directly addresses a lot of what's happening in the world today. I mean, there's even there's a monologue of Emily's character that almost encapsulates the history of the world, slightly fictional, slightly real. But the other thing is that, and it has to do a little bit with what Jesse was saying, like it's, there's a lot of individualism in the world, and it's, very much governing, how we act as people. And, we tend to, create this bubble with like-minded people and live in it, and, not be able to see every aspect of reality. So I think what this film does is like kind of bring these two bubbles together and then kind of see what happens if they crush against each other. And there's a very interesting, I think it puts the audience in a very interesting place where, they need to figure out what their moral stance is, while watching the film. You kind of go from, believing one thing, then to another thing, then thinking one thing about a character, then the other thing. You don't know who to root for. And it's a very interesting experience to go through that throughout the film. So, yeah.
世界が注目する女性 CEO が陰謀論者に誘拐された。
How can you tell she's an alien?
Where's my hair? I'm a high-profile female corporate executive. In the next 48 hours, the police and the FBI will begin a statewide manhunt. There is no possible scenario.
You're killing our planet. I know who you are.
I know you too.
ブゴニア